Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill. I'm doing this on a different night this week. Usually I do it on Friday nights, as you know, but it's the month of December and it's a busy month, y'all. So I wanted to make sure that I did do a True Crime and Chill. So here we are on a Thursday night, but that's okay because there's a lot of news that happened this week. So Mr. Beckham should be joining us in a little bit. I got the SOS, can't figure out which candle to light message. So nonetheless, same dance, different week. But anyway, he does not know, but I am wearing my Mr. Beckham shirt. So hopefully he comes soon so he can see that I'm actually supporting him. Even though he does not know how to arrive on time, I'm supporting him nonetheless. And this is the Mr. Beckham shirt that is on the Danny After Dark merch store page. So if you are a Beckham fan, check it out and grab yourself a Beckham shirt. But also make sure you get a Danny After Dark shirt too, because let's be real. Anyway, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. Again, if you are watching in the chat, please be interactive. If you are watching but not in the chat, thank you for joining and feel free to hop in. We're a nice bunch. So let's see who's here. Hey, Kane, good to see you. Renee, Corey Novak, Chris James, Camp Elasticity Productions. That is my one of many chats I have. So that is Selena. So she's hanging out with me here tonight. So that is Selena. And she's like the sweetest cat ever. Let's see. Hi, James. That opening reminds me of The Ring. I haven't thought of it like that, but okay, sure. Sorry, I missed the book review. I have a monthly thing I do with my friends. Don't apologize. Check it out whenever works for you. So I actually met up with the Liz earlier today and we were chatting and just having a great time as we always do. And she wasn't able to check it out as well. So we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer while we were like having lunch earlier. It was actually quite funny. I'm like, oh my God, there are people like around the tables, like probably overhearing this conversation, and it's fine. So anyways, hello, K-Dog, Lil Milky, Mr. Beckham taco scented Yankel. Oh my, that sounds disgusting. I'm like debating whether to time you out for 5 minutes just for putting that image and scent into my mind. That sounds horrific. So, hey, Todd. Hello, Eric. I did. James Watson, I actually noticed that, but the reason you probably aren't criticizing this is because it's a Beckham shirt. If it was a Danny After Dark shirt, I'm sure you'd be all over that, which is fine. It's what I come to expect now, James. I didn't realize you were such the fashionista, but I ain't mad at it. It's all good. So anyway, while we wait for Beckham, there's a lot of true crime news. There was probably, to be honest, there was so much that happened even on Monday. I could have probably done the True Crime and Chill on Monday night for the week. there was just so much that happened early on this week, but we will update it and go through it. K-Dog, you know we're talking about Sarah Boone, the gift that keeps on. I'm giving you a star for that. I'm giving you a star for that. Oh my God, she just, I always, I'm mad at myself because with Lori Vallow, I remember thinking, oh my God, will she just go away? For now, she did. And now Sarah Boone is like the new thing where I'm like, oh my God, woman, just go away. Like it's just her, hearing her talk about what happened. It's just infuriating because of the lack of accountability. It's frustrating. And then K-Dog, like what she says, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to it. It's one of those, I am going about my day. I know her sentence happened, and I'm going about my day, and then I see what she says, and I ruins my mood. Absolutely ruins my mood. We'll get to that. Breathe in, breathe out. We'll get to it. Oh God. Renee, yeah, I know, but there's only so much I can handle. There is only so much craziness I can handle. So, Karen Reed, the gift that needs unwrapping. You know what, James Watson, I'm going to give you a star for that too. Because we, as the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and as a taxpayer of Massachusetts, hello, that's me, should not be going through this. Beckham, you were not in the green room. You were not in the green room backstage. Stop lying. Pretending like I'm leaving you backstage. That's BS. But Beckham. Now you know I'm wearing a Beckham shirt and yet you still can't even appear on time. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you typed this twice. So either that was an accident or you really, 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 Corey, wanted us to know that you watched these tapes. How was it? Okay, you said weird, but other than weird, how was it? Can you elaborate a little bit, please? I know, Corey's just really excited. It's Thursday night. It's Friday Eve. Every Thursday at work, my coworkers will say, I'm like, happy Friday Eve. Or like, when you're talking like at the end of the day and you're getting emails up, like, happy Friday Eve. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Beckham, I will not let you on. And it's funny, when I met up with Liz earlier, that was one of the things that I said to her. I was just like, I am waiting for Netflix to just be like, because y'all know I am not a Netflix fan. When it comes to true crime stuff, I just can't take it. I can't. Rudy Altabelli's Champagne Rum. Oh my God. I'm going to give you a star for that, little Milky. I'll give you a little star. I'm just giving out stars tonight. So, all right, let's start with an easy one before Beckham comes up because he's waiting in the green room, waiting for his moment, apparently. I don't know. But nonetheless, we're here. So this is an interesting one. Puff Daddy. And I know that usually Beckham's the one that talks about it, but there was just this little detail. Well, that's actually a big detail that happened this week. So the prosecution team against Sean Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, insert 20 other nicknames, whatever you want to do. The prosecution team has grown. Maureen Comey has notified the court that she is joining the prosecution. And that makes me so happy. And if you're wondering, Maureen Comey, how do I know that name? I've heard that before. Where have I heard that before? She is best known as being one of the 3 lead prosecutors who secured a conviction in 2021 against Ghislaine Maxwell. Maureen Comey, I am all for it. Now, let's take a moment to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the man with 1,000 candles. Mr. Beckham.
Yo, what's up, man?
Nothing, man.
Happy Thursday night.
Happy Thursday night. Look what I'm wearing tonight.
I know it's all about the merch tonight. Look, I was gonna light it, but I didn't because I don't want to waste it or whatever. I got my candle and the coffee mug. See, there you go. All about the merch.
All about the merch. I'm just mad at myself that I'm like, you know
Oh,
what?
nice shirt. It actually, dude, your shirt looks like you have a real candle on you.
It actually does. The graphics are really good. They're
Looks like
really,
it's got
really good.
like a little switch where it's got a light bulb behind it and it turns on and off. Got
I'm
it
just
on.
mad that I'm like, you know what? I'm in a good mood tonight. Let me support my dear friend, Mr. Beckham. And then you can't even arrive on time.
I'm here.
Better late than never, but Jesus,
I was doing work.
doing work. Oh yeah, because none of us aren't doing work during the day. Okay, but you're
You're
using
out
your
here.
Danny
You're
After
out there
Dark mug,
having
so I'll give
lunch.
you.
You're whoa. You're out there having lunch with the Liz at like 2 in the afternoon and
You know,
showing off. What's his name? Trinetti or what? What's his name?
Yannetti.
Yanetti's. Like his Wi-Fi, and stuff. You're like, look at where I'm at.
Found his
I'm like
Wi-Fi.
next door to Yanetti.
I found his Wi-Fi. Oh man,
You know
yeah,
the password? Was it Karen Reed?
probably, probably. Oh, David Janetti. And if
Hey,
you're
or was it like
Karen
a
Reed
was it
case, if you
hey
don't
was
know
it
who I'm talking about, one of the defense lawyers. Oh, David Janetti. Oh,
it was his internet password red panty night? Because
what is wrong with
he's
you?
gonna get paid.
Oh my god. I'm apologizing to the viewers in advance.
Hey, for those MMA fans out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It means you're
Okay.
gonna get paid. You're gonna make a big. You're gonna have a big payday. Is what it means. That's all.
Let's see. Rhonda Thompson, hello. Rhonda's saying I'm saying it now. Diddy didn't kill himself. Rhonda, thank you for putting it out there. You have put this out into the universe. It is officially on YouTube. So if anything goes south with Puff Daddy, we have your statement. You have been heard. We got it.
Hey man, people are getting knocked out in front of just in public these days.
We will get to that. Beckham, you will have your moment. Don't worry. So all that you missed was that I updated on Puff Daddy that Maureen Comey has joined the prosecution, and she was one of the 3 lead prosecutors who secured the conviction against Ghislaine Maxwell.
For Diddy?
Huh?
What did you say?
So, well, if you listened the first time, Maureen Comey is a prosecutor, and she was involved in the 2021 case against Ghislaine Maxwell. Mm-hmm. She and 2 other prosecutors got her convicted. So Maureen Comey has joined the prosecution team against Puff Daddy. So.
Oh, wow. That means they have, okay, so that means they got some stuff on him for sure now.
Well, that means they have someone who's been through something like this type of trial.
Right. And they had denied him a couple of weeks. Yeah, they had denied him a couple of weeks ago again. So there's for sure they got stuff on him. And what's he going to do? They're going to serve life, serve the minimum of 12 years. He's either going to do this. He's either going to get life in prison, serve the minimum 12, or and then make a deal to where it's less, right? Or he's found not guilty. I'm just saying, that's another possibility. But
I don't see either. I don't see him not being found. So he's not going to be found not guilty, I don't think. Okay, right. But then also, he's too narcissistic to take a plea
to make a deal to rat.
Too narcissistic, and that means he would basically acknowledge that he did was wrong, and he doesn't think anything he's done is wrong. So even if it's the smartest choice for him to do, his ego is too big. He won't take it. Mark my words.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong on this.
And I think, okay, and that's the catch. Remember, it's a federal case. So I think that's what I read, that if he were to make the deal for the minimum is 12 years, and because it's federal, he has to serve the 12. It can't be like
Right.
good behavior, you're out in like 5 or whatever, or serve.
Yeah.
You got to do the 12. So that would
Mhm.
probably be on the minimum or whatever, or not guilty, the 12, or life in prison.
There's so many victims in this. I
Right.
don't see how the prosecution would do that. Like, even entertain the idea of a plea deal.
He's writing in for a pardon. Pardon from who? It ain't going to be Trump. He went against Trump.
You know what? Let Puff Daddy do what he like. Now's the time to pull strings. I can't wait to see what happens from this. Let's see who's on. K Dog saying who's on Diddy's dream team.
He's
Let's
got some
see.
people. He does have some. He does have his own version of a dream team. He's got some people that have served. That actually, you know what? He has one of Elon Musk's lawyers.
Of course he does.
He does. No, yeah, that was that. I just thought of that. Yeah, he does have one of his lawyers that's helped him in whatever litigation processing and all that with his companies and things like that. So
K Dog saying he's got some money. Well, that's an understatement. He'll get a good deal. I
yeah, but
don't
he's
think
got
the
to give up in order
prosecution
for him to
won.
get a deal. He's got to give up information, and the people that are coming into this new administration, it's going to go across the board. Agencies could be changing budgets and all that kind of stuff. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to get into place, if any of that stuff happens. Um, that type of thing. But you also have to look back, Danny, at like how agencies have failed. Certain agencies, I won't name them out loud, but there's been some failures in certain law enforcement agencies in the past year, so much that they're having to go before Congress and getting kind of drilled in what practices they have and things of that nature, to where today I was working and I had the news in the back and I heard two men like shouting, and I didn't know that it was a
I was at the
congressional.
gym and that was
Yeah,
on.
yeah, it was for the congressional thing about, right. One of the congressmen
Yep.
was going after one of the guys in the Secret Service. Well, there you go. But right. So due to that stuff that's already happened throughout the last couple years, could it have could it have an effect even involving this case down the road? It's something to see, because it's going to be entertaining for sure, but also what kind of deal are they gonna want to make, and if he's willing to make the deal, because there's not only do people in Congress want access to certain lists, right? And I mean, you got first it was the public, then there was so much from the public pushing and pushing and pushing that things had to happen. It's almost like these failures almost to kind of cause the eyes of Congress to finally open, to start looking into these situations, to where now they want to see lists, if that makes any sense. So
It does.
now you have Congress wanting to access these lists, right? So what's going to be interesting to see what kind of deals are made, for sure. If, like you said, you don't think he will, but we'll see. Oh, and if he doesn't make a deal, the government's going to he's going to go to life. He'll never, I mean, he'll have visitation. I'm pretty sure people will be able to visit, but he'll never see the light of day. And all the government will seize all assets, everything. Everything he has is gone. That's another thing.
I talked about this last week, unless he has kind of did what OJ did, like putting it in his kids' names or whatnot, so that they can't touch him. They can't touch the assets.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if that's done. If that's being done now, maybe that's why he brought in Elon Musk's lawyer on a higher grade to figure that kind of stuff out. Maybe that was his purpose, to come in. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if Elon Musk is more of a like criminal. I'm sorry, if his lawyer is more of a criminal guy or more like an asset guy type of thing.
Yeah, that I don't know either. Hello, Dan Quirk. We will be getting to that. We will be getting to that. So hang in just a little bit, and that is on the discussion for tonight. Absolutely. So Lil Milky's saying Diddy got everyone on camera on a pool of baby oil so he can drag them down with him. Oh, we know that there's at least one celebrity who's on camera from what I recall that.
And there was an underage person also.
Yeah. K-Dog says the feds will do what they want to do. His kids might be involved in this. I don't know.
One of the oldest ones could be, yeah. Not for real. Yep.
We'll see.
He might have to testify. I don't know if they'll arrest him, but he'll be brought in to testify. Cross-examined.
Hey, Tony Stewart. Hi, Don't Like Beauty. Welcome. So we'll see what happens. But the prosecution, I mean, getting Maureen Comey on their side, solid move. So, update on the next case. There's just so much this week. There's so much. So Ashley Benefield, the only update with her this week is that she has been, she was found guilty, as we know, of first-degree manslaughter in the murder of her husband, Doug Benefield. Just a reminder, she was that former ballet dancer who was on trial for murder of her husband. So she was sentenced on Tuesday. So what she got was 20 years in prison, and then once released, she will be on probation for 10 years. The maximum that she could have faced in prison was 30 years. So she got 20 and then 10 years probation. So that is the sentence for Ashley.
How did she kill her husband? I kind of saw that. I remember last week when I messaged you about her. What did she end up doing to her husband?
Oh God, of course you would. I didn't pull up the background. Okay, I don't want to get.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just don't want to.
Did she hit him over the head with a sledgehammer?
All right, I just don't want to get details.
It wasn't the one that got put in a suitcase.
But okay, all right. It's just been a little bit before. Okay, that's right. Yeah, she shot him. Thank you. Yeah, and then she ran to a neighbor's house, and there was that whole thing. She was claiming that she was abused. He was controlling. They had just had a baby. There's a lot of layers, and the defense really tried to push that she was an abused wife and so on. But clearly, the jury didn't buy it. They didn't buy it. I was kind of surprised that the verdict came back kind of as quick as it did, and with the guilty verdict. I don't know, but nonetheless, she is sentenced. So of course her attorneys will try to appeal, but we'll see. So
maybe she should have hired a hitman.
Beckham, for Christ's sakes.
Sorry.
For the record, we do not condone or promote violence of any kind on this channel, and do not listen to Mr. Beckham in any way, shape, or form for advice on how to commit a crime.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The only crime that was committed tonight here was that you don't know how to be on time.
Right.
I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, let's do, because I want to give you time for, all right, let's do this one. So this is one that Paul messaged us, and you know where I'm going with this, Beckham. DB Cooper.
Oh my God.
No, I actually find it so.
Why do you find it interesting? Give me a reason why.
Why I find it interesting?
Yes.
Because it's a case that has been unresolved for decades, and how someone was able to pull it off and get away with it. And then hearing what we are reading, what's come out recently now, and we'll get to that when we go over this. I'm just like, how, if this is the case, how was he not caught sooner? But anyway, I was shocked that Paul knew who DB Cooper was.
Well, yeah, it's like one of those Kennedy cases. It's kind of one of those, that culture case type of thing where you're just like, you're like, how did this person get away with it? They've had the FBI hasn't been able to, figure it out for 40 years. What is 72, 40 years, or whatever. And it's like,
it
how
was
did somebody?
71,
Yeah,
71,
did that person make it alive? They jumped out of the plane, this or that. They might have found a part of the parachute. Did they really find part of the parachute? Did they find cash just in the woods somewhere? There's just so many like stories and theories that you kind of go into like a rabbit hole, and it's just like people are that type, so much that I don't even know this MMA fighter named Chael Sonnen even says he knows who the real guy is one time.
You know what?
During an interview, and it was just funny. Does he really know him? It's funny.
Stop raining down on my parade.
Oh,
I found this interesting, and I just want to say, Paul, our co-host Paul from the Paulcast Manson Saga discussion panel, Paul is. Do I want to be nice to Paul tonight? No, I don't. Mr. I don't like true crime. I don't like true crime. Hey, have you guys heard of DB Cooper? Paul, for Christ's sakes. That would be like
did he have like two? Did he have two stewardess to help him out the door with that were wearing go-go boots and skirts to kind of like, it's just crazy.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's get to the DB Cooper stuff because I find it interesting and want to update you guys. If that's something you're not interested in, it's okay. It's okay. We'll get through it. Let's see. Capone says, Beckham, I got a Danny mug. Can you get me some coffee, darling?
Hey, everybody's learning.
Everybody's learning. I'll give you a star for that. We'll see.
Hey, in corporate America, hey, these days, okay, this is how times have changed. In 1971, when this Cooper guy pulled off this bank robbery, this robbery or whatever, literally hey, darling, would you mind, would you give me a cup of coffee? The stewardess would have just done it. Today's day, you say those words, you get slapped and possibly fired from your corporate job if you say it at work to a coworker. So how times have changed like that. There you go.
Good night, and thank you for saying that you're interested in DB Cooper. Look it up or tune in tomorrow and see what we talk about. But thank you. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks. Kid Freshie, hello. All right, so let's get into it. And then quickly, I hate to even give credit. I hate to give this credit, but Rhonda, you're really, why do I have to do this? She thinks you're funny. All right, you got a compliment, Beckham. There we go. I've said it.
Hey, I was trying to find it. Where is it?
It's on the screen.
Oh, I have different screens up. Give me a second. Yeah, thank you, Rhonda. Appreciate it. It's true. The darling, give me bring me a cup of coffee. Gets you.
Rhonda, I wouldn't agree with you, but let's give Beckham his
I've made
moment.
You laugh hard
feel
before,
good.
Danny. I've made you laugh hard before. Look, I'm trying to get the cup in the screenshot while it's kind of high, so I'm kind of have to go up with it like this to drink it.
You're still here. Okay. Okay then. So, all right. So for people who just have never heard of DB Cooper, so he is the infamous hijacker whose identity has remained a mystery for over 50 years, and it now might be on the verge of being solved. So as a quick reminder, he hijacked a Boeing 727 at Seattle-Tacoma Airport in November 1971, November 24th. He held its crew and passengers hostage with a bomb threat and then made off with about $200,000 in cash, which as of today's currency would be about $1.2 million. So to escape, he had to jump out of the plane over dense Pacific Northwest woodlands. The only real evidence that was left behind was a clip-on tie that cost $1.49.
Wow, that's an expensive clip-on tie.
I mean, based with a currency now might be what, $10?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe. So the FBI is now conducting tests. So if you're wondering how did this alleged breakthrough happen, because again, everything still isn't 100% confirmed, but enough where I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So the children of one of the suspects, Richard Floyd McCoy Jr., the children confessed that their parents were behind it. The FBI had actually previously looked at Richard McCoy and ruled him out as a suspect because he didn't match what was described then as the physical descriptions of...
Because the flight attendants ran on it and they told a lie. And they're go-go boots. Because they wore go-go boots back then. Flight attendants were younger, fitter, and dressed appropriately to be flight attendants in 1971.
Anyways, so he didn't match the description that was provided by 2 flight attendants. Beckham, silence. Just after the crime, a few months later, Richard actually was convicted of a similar hijacking. April 7th, 1972, Richard commandeered United Airlines Flight 855, another Boeing 727 that was en route from Newark, New Jersey to Los Angeles, California. He demanded $500,000 in cash and parachuted out of the plane as soon as he got the money. He was arrested after the FBI received a tip from a concerned citizen. Richard was later sentenced to 45 years in prison, but broke out of maximum security with 3 other prisoners. So 2 other prisoners were caught within days, but Richard evaded arrest for 3 months. When they were able to finally track him down, he was shot by agents inside of his home. So Richard's children had always suspected that their father may have been D.B. Cooper, but didn't want to come forward until their mother died because they thought she might be complicit in this. There was a parachute found in McCoy's storage unit that has the same unique alterations as the chutes in the Cooper hijacking. The modifications include sewn-on webbing and the installation of D-rings on the front. Hooks that would have been ideal to carry a heavy load like a bag full of cash, for example. Investigators believe that D.B. Cooper lost almost all of the money in the jump, and a fraction of the cash that was later found by authorities was disintegrated. And there are pictures of that online. So when Richard was on trial for that Utah hijacking, investigators attempted to link him to the D.B. Cooper case, but his sister-in-law, Denise Burns, provided him with an alibi. She said that Richard and his wife were at home during the time of the Cooper hijacking. However, Denise has since recanted that alibi. So FBI agents now have taken the harness and the parachute into evidence. One of McCoy's sons, Rick, has also provided DNA samples to the FBI. The agency, meaning the FBI, has not given an official update yet, but investigators are seeking to exhume the body of McCoy for further testing. It is very hard for law enforcement. Law enforcement cannot just go and say, we want to exhume this person, let's do it. There's a lot of hoops that need to be jumped through for that to happen. So if that's what they're looking to do, and if it gets to that point, they have something.
Okay, so because I keep up with the Jean Bonnet case. So with technology, you're talking about being able to, but it's really, man, it's really difficult. It can be done, but it's got to be, I don't know what word to use. It's real, peculiar on how to do it. You can splice the DNA, but you can also, by taking that chance, but they would have plenty though. They have the sun, and they can just keep getting it from the body, right? So you could splice it and connect it and see if that it matches or whatever they have, the other evidence they have, right? So with Cooper, it would be fine with the technology now, right? Because you have it more available of it. Jean Bonnet, there's only like one piece. If you mess it up, it's over. So you know what I mean? So they've talked about being able to do something like that now. So, which is really interesting when you look at the science of that. But it's difficult, but it can be done. And that's what do they want to spend the money and the time and, like you said, go through the hoops, or just kind of let the case just be a lore? Just let it be lore at this point. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a decision that somebody will have to make.
Hey, Josh, welcome. You don't have a wrench. We need to change that. So Chris James says, wait, no, wrong comment. Okay, Capone. Why would they even need the body if they have his kids? So they did take their McCoy's son Rick's DNA sample. I'm thinking,
yeah, it's
so
kind
they
of like
would be able to get a similarity, like with genetic profiling and all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they can do with Jean Benet. But the only thing with Jean Benet is that there's only one piece of DNA that if they accidentally kill it, it's done. You can't. It's the error prone ability is high. So
But it
that's
gets to the point when a case has been unsolved for so long.
right.
Why just do something? Do something.
That's what I'm saying. Are you gonna want to go through? You just said to yourself, there's all these loops you're gonna have to go through. Is it worth the time and energy and money to do it? Is it really because the guy could be deceased already? So what would be why?
In regards to the Cooper case, if the son's DNA comes back as some type of match to whatever little evidence was
60%
left
match.
at the set scene, then to me that makes sense to then possibly go forward with an exhumation. But if it doesn't, just with the son, then it just kind of stops right there.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You have plenty of DNA from he's still living. The son is still alive, but you could do whatever you want. You could try 10 times. Is what I'm saying.
Well, there's also 2 adult children, so it's not just the son. There's also another
That's
adult.
That's what I'm saying. You
Child
have
from D.B. Cooper and his wife. So
you have plenty of amounts of DNA you could do. Right. That's not the problem.
And this was one of those cases where where is it in the chat? So Kid Freshie, I do see your comments in regards to your thoughts that not Cooper's parachute and whatnot, kind of like this is a done deal, end of story, not involved. And that might very well be the case that it kind of gets squashed. I just thought it was one of those things where, again, such a long-standing mystery in regard to the true crime community. I was like, let me just throw it out there and see what you guys think about this.
There's been books written on it and people's theories, and it's a lore case.
And you make an excellent point. That's one of those things where
book sales would drop if they figured out the right guy and all the books had the wrong guy.
Yeah,
and just saying.
Yeah, right. And obviously you want true crime cases to, or criminal cases to be solved at the end of the day. But this was one of those. There's so much mystery behind it. Sure. It's one of those. Would it be best to leave it that way?
Leave it that way.
The only thing that happened,
right? The only thing was the person. If they got away with money, they got away with money. There was no altering, like there wasn't any murder or anything like that, attached to it. So it's almost like one of those cases where just, if it were up to me, just let the lore live on and let people have fun deep diving and enjoy the books and the stories and theories and things.
Is that how you would also go about the Zodiac, Jack the Ripper?
No, there was murders in that one. Those cases. That's different. I'm not talking this. There was no murder in this case. It was nothing. It was just guy stole some. Maybe he might have made a private donation to some organization. We don't know. Might have helped some kids get to college, Danny.
The Beckham Coffee Fund. The Beckham Coffee Fund. So yeah, I just found it interesting in regards to Richard McCoy when he was sentenced and convicted of something so similar that was just around that time. It's just what are the odds that he's not connected? That to me was kind of, again, I'm not shouting he did it, case solved. That's not the case. Pun not intended. But
dude, your shirt matches the candle in the back of my look. You see it? That's actually a good. Whoever did the design was really good.
Yeah, that was Allie.
Because it really matches what it really looks like in the background. Like
shout out to Allie, yes, who was so beyond generous and helpful and instrumental of getting the Danny After Dark merch.
What's her name?
Set up. Allison.
Allie, thank you, Allie.
Allie, yeah.
Now bring me a coffee. I'm just like,
I can't remember if Allie's one of the ones that is like Team Beckham, where it's like, oh, you're so mean to everybody. Thinks I'm mean to you.
You are.
It's
such a delight here.
Oh, it's so deserved. So deserved. I just can't remember if Allie has said that too. I feel like everybody says
I think
that.
she is Team Me. I believe so.
You know what? You think that. If that, you know what? You sleep good at night knowing everybody's Team Beckham. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, okay, since again, DB Cooper was not exactly true crime news. Let's move on to what I know you guys want to talk about. I do have a couple of updates for some other cases after, but Beckham, we know what people want to talk about tonight. So go for it.
Oh, God. Where do I start? Okay, so what this was yesterday, right? Yesterday around 6 a.m, New York City, 6:45 a.m. A masked man waited for CEO. I believe his name is. Let me get my information here. I know his last name's Thompson. Brian Thompson, 50 years old, waited for him as he was headed towards the Hilton Midtown in Manhattan, and was shot and killed. And right in front of cars and parked vehicles in front of the hotel. Um, so yeah, Brian Thompson, age 50, CEO of United Healthcare, one of the biggest healthcare companies in the world. Currently it's like who did it? Was it a hit? What are the motives? It's just it started off kind of like slow. I saw the headline coming through, right? And I was like, okay, well, I thought it was a work violence issue, a workplace violence thing at first, but then it was like, the hitman, and he escaped and this, and then I started really paying attention to it. So it's really drawn a lot of attention, of course, and it's all over the news and all that type of stuff. So here's some main points about Brian Thompson. Again, age 50, United Healthcare CEO. He started out as a certified public accountant. He went to work for United Healthcare. I'm sorry, United Health Group, and became CEO in 2021. Now, being the CEO, he's also responsible for government programs that included Medicare. So, of course, if you know what Medicare, it's the elderly insurance for the elderly, 65 and above, and for also people that are disabled in the United States. So he's always kept a low profile, though. He's always kept a low profile. Just coming in to find out that him and his wife were actually separated. And actually were living in different homes, but not far from each other. So he always kept a low profile, even with the priority type of his position. Now, in 2021, he did start receiving. This is kind of been reported that he was receiving some backlash from the American Hospital Association for denial of payments to hospitals for critical visits. Okay. In 2023, he proposed, as the CEO, he proposed to shift to a value core model for the United Health Group to benefit doctors to keep patients healthy rather than just treating them to get better after they got sick. So there was some controversy there. Just kind of like, and I'm talking about these points as to it will kind of make you think possible motives here, right? So, and kind of his position within the company. Now, he was also things started to get heated this year because he was looked into by the Department of Justice just back in May of this year's, 6 months ago, for possible insider trading, because he failed to disclose disclose to investors about an antitrust investigation by the Department of Justice. So possible insider trading violations, that type of thing. And again, he was the CEO to the insurance company of 49 million Americans. Also, which is a lot of responsibility, which they manage or run the largest Medicare Advantage program, and also subsidy Medicare programs for people ages 65 to 80. The United Health Group also insures employees, and other state-to-state Medicaid programs. So As the CEO, he did. He was, the company has been successful, man. They uh they had over $281 billion in revenue just last year, Danny. I did not. I've never paid attention to the medical stuff like this. So when I saw that number, I was just like, wow, 200. And so these numbers are now being reported because people are looking into it, right?
Yeah.
More so. Um, so $281 billion in revenue last year in 2023. That was the posting. So guess how much his salary how much do you think his salary was? Just kind of
Oh,
quick.
I saw that. Was it 10 million?
Yeah, 10.2 million dollars a year. Now, okay, so from even government agencies and things like that have investors and things like that, and so you have, I don't know, we could spend 2 hours just talking about this because I'm just gonna hit on the main points, but um he was responsible for a lot. Let's just say that. Sometimes you got to make decisions, right, and things like that to make money for investors and that type of thing, right? That's what you. So by this program, the things that he was running, that type of thing, it could probably set him up to get threats and things like that, and people looking at it potential, like he did, maybe people felt that he wasn't helping the public in essence, right? By like the insurance claims and all that kind of stuff and payments not being helping the public, helping the people that were insured, type of thing, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, when you have that much revenue, it's because you're not paying out.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything, I know, but yeah. So I'm not gonna go there because that's where we can go into the 2 hour show. But so anyway, yeah, so a masked man shows up, shoots him from behind. Um, so police did find 3 shell casings. And there's kind of different reports. What I've read is 3 shell casings from a 9mm automatic, weapon. And actually, what they did find that these shell casings had the words. Um, and I looked up this book. There's a book called the words on the casings were delay, deny, and defend. And it's also a book by a J.M. Feinman. So something about insurance companies not paying on their claims and just doing some dirty business and really keeping people out there, just leaving them out there to dry, right? Without how helping them pay for medical stuff, hospital visits, surgeries, all everything under that
Renee
plan.
said it's depose, not
Is it
defend.
deposed?
Yeah,
Okay, well,
it is depose.
okay.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Renee.
that's what I thought it was. So
Correct Beckham anytime you want, Renee. Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, so yeah, so it's like that's what they found. The killer was had hooded. He was hooded, masked. People now the thing that's really gotten people out there is that was this guy a professional because his gun jammed every time he shot, and the guy kept his cool, was able to unjam the gun,
Yeah.
that time of thing, and it followed through the killing and just walked away, like literally just did his thing. The gun jammed, unjammed it, finished him off, and walked off, right?
I
And he
just
got
add
away.
too that there were other people that walked by before
Mm-hmm.
the CEO
Yep, there
did.
was witnesses.
They
Yep.
were clearly not the target. Like, he
Right.
was
Yeah.
waiting for this specific person.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. So right. So if you see the footage there, actually, as he's actually doing one of the shots, this I think it's a female. She's leaving the building and she literally just sees it and then just takes off running. She just took off. She takes off
Yeah.
running. Yeah. So she might have probably been one of the witnesses the police, I'm sure, interviewed, or and there was a couple of other live or interviews that I saw where one guy said, I forgot what this guy did, but across the street he was loading a truck. Remember, it's in the morning, so it's like New York. You've been to New York. I mean, right? You've been.
No, I've actually never
Oh
been.
my God, that's
I
right.
know
That's why.
that
That's
was
why I
surprised.
asked. That's why I asked. I was like, have you? Because I remember I had like a quick thought, thinking maybe you haven't been.
Right. We've
Right, you
had a
have
conversation.
not
I
been
have
in New
never been.
York.
But it's
it's it.
cold up here in New England, so for him
Yeah,
to be dressed the way he was
right.
that morning, yesterday morning,
Well, right.
wasn't out of character from how other people were dressed.
No, but I wasn't
He
gonna
didn't
say that.
stand out.
Right. What I'm saying is, what I'm talking about is that it's a very, very busy city.
Yes.
Everybody's on the move. I mean, things start like 5 in the morning, man. Everything's moving fast. It's a fast city, especially in Manhattan, because that's when they ring, business starts, man, at like 8 o'clock. And you gotta wake up, trading starts, all that stuff starts. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary if you had somebody just standing waiting across the street, because he probably might be waiting for a pickup, might be waiting for a truck to show up to unload or something, right? I mean, the city is just moving, it moves really fast. So, and people keep to their own. They focus on what they're doing.
Yep.
People are walking fast and just moving. It's fast. So it wasn't out of the ordinary. That was my point. It was that by him just standing or waiting in an area, nobody's gonna literally ask him, "Hey, what are you doing here?" As opposed to if that happened in Dallas, you got some guy just standing there. Someone is gonna be like, "Hey, there's a weird guy just standing here for like an hour, not moving." Police. Somebody would have probably called police on that guy. Is what I'm saying. Two
Yeah.
completely different, cities, completely different things going on. So yeah, so he kind of fit in with the busyness of the cities getting started in the morning. I think one guy that I saw interviewed said, yeah, he kind of noticed he was doing his thing, whatever work he was doing, loading a truck or something. And he said that guy was probably waiting about an hour just there, just waiting in the cold, just waiting. He didn't think of anything of it. He was just doing his job, but he remembered the guy just waiting for something. He wasn't sure what it was, kept to his own business, and then finding out what had happened, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just that's kind of been the thing. A lot of things circulating of what the possible, was it an actual hit, what the motive was. Was it like the purpose of the whole insurance thing? Was it the insider? The insider stuff is coming out today than it did yesterday that I've
Mhm.
seen. Um, and there's been some politicians attached to the insider stuff. I won't go that route. I don't want to go political. But that's another story there that kind of adds to the fuel of the story. And just today, just a few hours ago, of course, police put out. So there's just so much going on, man. Police put out the photos this morning,
Yep.
and that's a whole other thing there. So have you seen the two photos? I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So it looks like two completely different people to me. First of all, from the masked guy to the one with the partial non-mask. Some of them think it's like a woman in the second one. There's like three pictures. So so it looks like one of them looks like a woman. It could be a woman, and then the second one that kind of is with that picture makes it just look like more of a feminine or like looking male. And then you have the one from yesterday, who the guy's fully covered in face and everything. Um, so the pictures things are off. Again, you have people not trusting the government here because the police literally put out two different, to me, two, it looks like two different people. Like, come on, man. So
Yeah, I'm pulling it
now
up
you
now
have
so I can.
conspiracy. Yeah, you have
It does
conspiracy
look like
theories.
two completely different
It looks
people.
like two completely people. But it's funny because the internet's undefeated, man. I mean, people just find stuff. So they like pretty much on the first picture of the guy, somebody went out there and found all the clothes he was wearing. Yeah, there you go. See, like the first one to the left I mean, it could be it looks feminine, looks like a girl, right? And then
It
of
does look
course
like a
a
woman.
little bit like a girl, but then you see the next one to the right. That's the same one though, right? It looks
Mhm.
like a guy. But then if you look at the one from the yesterday, completely covered, it looks two different, like two completely different guys, two completely different people. Um, but anyway, so and of course then you have the conspiracy theories going on, that type of thing. And then what did he use to get away? So did he use the electrical bike or the city bikes, or he had his own bike, and that's why he had like he had this thing planned out. It looks like he had a battery in his backpack that put it on one of those motorized bicycles, and
Yeah.
that's what he probably took off on, which he probably had parked already somewhere and use it as his getaway. Hold that picture right there. So So everybody, so the internet's undefeated, man. Somebody literally went and found his whole outfit. Now, based on, I'm talking from the hoodie to the pants to the backpack to his shoes. How much? Because people at first were like, "Man, this guy's probably got paid or didn't get paid," and some people were saying he had to be on. He's probably a drug addict, and somebody was like, "Man, listen, this is how much this guy's outfit's worth. He's not a drug addict. How much do you think the outfit?" Somebody literally found everything this guy right here is wearing. How much do you think that his outfit runs? Everything.
God, I don't know. It looks so basic. I'll say like 200, 250.
No, no. You're talking like $1,500 to $2,000. His shoes are literally like $300 shoes.
Jeez.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So this is not a drug. This is not a drug addict committing murder here. So anyway, so somebody literally clothed him and took the picture and said, "This is where you can get this at. This is where you can get this. This is how much it costs." That's what I thought was wild. That this guy's outfit was probably about $1,500. Um, so and then of course you have the weapon. What did he use to shoot? Right. Now you have all these professional ex-military guys, ex-law enforcement people, that type of thing. The casings are supposedly being reported belongs to a 9mm. Now there's been reports of that he might have used a modern version of a rare World War II spy gun. So it's something about I think it's called a B&T VP9 well rod pistol. It's a suppressed firearm developed in the Second World War, and that's where you see the jamming part of it, when he was like trying to, the suppression part of it. So I don't. The whole gun thing has people like really. I mean, you're talking like ex-law enforcement, military. They're getting involved because they want to be the experts to really name the weapon that he was using. If you had the picture up, it looks like this long weapon, right? And then it jammed. Now, did it really jam, or does that's how it works, right? You don't know. So did the gun jam, or that's the way it works? So, of course, you're saying 9mm with a silencer. Or they don't call it a silencer. Some people call it it's called, I mean, yeah, it's well, movies call it a silencer, but it's also called a hold on.
Dang it, Beckham. You're from Texas. You should be an expert on weapons.
Calm down. It's called it's a suppressor. I've been glad that. Yeah, so it's a silencer is like movie terminology. It's called a suppressor. So it's part. I was saying it right. So anyway, that's just the way the gun might have worked actually. So we really don't know everything. And then so then you have, okay, so sorry, I'm gonna kind of keep it comical. I know somebody got assassinated, but you still have, to me, you gotta have to still laugh about things. So you have this other group of the video online gamers coming on here because they know all these weapons in the video game industry, right? All these online gamers coming on, and they're like, who in the hell would turn in somebody for a $10,000 reward? The reward is only $10,000. So like they're like, these gamers are like, I can make that in like a month from my online games. Like, who's gonna turn in a guy for $10,000? So why? That's a whole nother thing there. Why is the amount to turn in somebody's only like 10 grand? The reward. Why is the reward only 10,000? This guy is supposedly is worth, I don't even know. I can't even put a number on it. I just know his salary is
10 million, 10.5 million a year.
That's his salary. How much is he worth? How many investment? I mean, how much is this guy really worth? And how much of a value? I mean, he literally made the company, or he's helping the company keep a substantial amount of income that, for the company that in revenue that they made over $281 billion last year. So to really like say the reward 10,000, really, like 10. I mean,
yeah.
Sharon Tate, at least somebody put a reward up for her was $25,000 to come with information to police. I mean, 10,000 is really low.
And that was back then. So think of like
Right, I
conversion,
know.
how much that
Yes,
would be
I
worth
know. That's
now.
really so. I'm sorry, but all the gamers that came in on the side and were making fun of the reward money, but
well, no, you make so there's 2 points from what you just said that I want to kind of expand on. One, that the law enforcement is putting out these photos and a reward, which to me, I take that as they have nothing.
yeah,
They have nothing to go off of, and that's why they're doing this. It's only been a day. Like, I don't know. I question if they're going to be able to solve this, honestly. I think this person really took the steps to know what they were going to do. We'll see. But also, when you talked about online gamers and, in their comment, so you guys know that I'm typically not one to, I don't go to blogs and read comments. Like, when I say read comments, meaning like obviously like y'all who comment on my videos and like, on like posts, like when we engage, that's one thing. But what I mean is like I'm not looking up news articles and then going to the comments to see what people
right.
say and think. I just don't do that. I want to just take everything in for myself. With that being said, though, Beckham, what people have, like the way this has been interpreted by people now, it's weird. Have you been following kind of what people have been saying
And
online?
what relate? Okay, so what I meant to say about like the gamers, the really professional gamers of Call of Duty, Modern Ops, those types of shooter games, where they came in, it wasn't necessary. They were they that's their world, and they're intrigued because of the weapon used, right? That's why. And the possibility that this could be a specialized weapon, that's their intrigue. And then they threw in the whole, man, I wouldn't even say anything for 10 grand. What are you kidding me? Whatever, that type of thing. So um was it a hit? A lot of law enforcement, some law enforcement has said it was professionally done because of his composure, right?
Mhm.
Again, was it really composed? Was it really, the gun really jam, or was that the way the gun is made to shoot? But he kept his composure no matter what. He did it. He didn't stiffen based on the surveillance videos, not surveillance, but what I'm talking about, the videos
Yeah.
out there. And he did it. He did the thing, and he walked off. And then he had a plan. He knew where to go. And I know there's a thing where they had this kid who hacked into the city biking system, and he thinks he tracked him. No, he was carrying. He used a motorized bike. Okay, he had the battery pack in his backpack, and I'm pretty sure he probably had other stuff in the backpack. But that's
Mhm.
what he used. I think that he rode the bike to the park, the Central Park, maybe got off there, and then he's last seen somewhere else. So, and then this morning, remember when I told you that the Newark airport had shut down, and
Yeah.
JFK had shut
JFK
down? So I don't know if it was due to
LaGuardia
weather,
too.
if they were rightly, yeah, they were shooting or shutting down the airport so that maybe they could try to see if they could catch him at the airport. I'm not sure if that was that reason, a weather reason, or a UFO reason. I don't know, but um, that was happening this morning too. But yeah, so you have a lot of interest in this because of the way it was, it was done. The operation was done. It was of course, pre-planned. The person knew. Oh, another thing is, how did this is a kicker here? How did this person know he was where he was going to be, where the meeting was going to? He was going to attend a meeting, an investor meeting. So
Yeah.
how did, because a lot of the stuff is kept not secret, but it's not disclosed to nobody, right? So, and he never really traveled. He was he was a low profile guy. Remember, I talked about that in the bullet points. He was a low profile guy. He really didn't put himself out there. He didn't have a security team, even though one was offered to him. Um, so who knew his schedule? That's the thing. That's the kicker, right?
Good point.
How would someone have known where he was going to be? And who had access to that information? So, he stayed across the street, and he was going to He stayed across the street, and he was going to go to the meeting. Maybe he was going to get to the meeting early, get the continental breakfast that they serve, or whatever, or coffee, and just wait for the wait for the meeting.
Well,
I
now
don't know.
you're just speculating, but
I don't know. I'm just saying he stayed across the street. He was walking. He was just crossing to go into the hotel for the meeting early, right? So
Renee's saying it was a conference. If he was presenting, it was published.
See, well, I don't know. That's why it was. I don't know.
Capone says investor meetings are advertised to all shareholders. That part is out of my expertise, so I don't know.
I don't know, but that's not what I heard. That it would have been a private type of thing. I don't know. Maybe it was.
Hey, Robin,
maybe it was public. Maybe it was public.
We talked about those words on the shell casings a little earlier when we started talking about this, but we did mention that, Robin.
Yeah, so maybe it was. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard it was his information. His meeting info was public. I heard otherwise. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. So, but somebody had to have known his schedule, and then planned it, waited, and that type of thing. So, I mean, it could be any type of motive. I'm not sure.
Online, it's Beckham.
What did you mean by that? What did you mean by, like, did you read you're reading the comments and it's kind of like,
what
did you mean by that?
I'll clarify. So what I meant by that is, it seems as though a lot of people are supporting this. Like, almost like, yes, like this which kind of can lead to maybe what was the motive behind this, as to why so many people would think, almost shy of, people are saying that this guy's a hero, meaning the person who took the shooter, that this person's a hero. I've never seen something of this magnitude on this scale, where so many people are like, this was a good thing. This person did a great thing. He's a hero for taking out the CEO. It's very weird.
Well, remember, the thing is, his wife made a statement yesterday early on about,
exactly, Tony.
His wife made a statement that there were threats recently made to him.
Yeah.
His wife's name is Paulette Thompson. But I don't know. They live apart. They don't live in the same house. I don't know about that relationship. It has not come out. I do know that they have kids. I'm not sure that the ages of the children have not been made public. Or at least I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if they're like teenagers or adult children, that type of thing. Not sure. But she did clarify that threats had been made lately. Again, if you go to my bullet points, remember, there's a lot that's happened, especially in the last 3 years, where he received backlash from the American Hospital Association for denial of payments to hospitals for critical visits, right? I mean, it's probably emergency rooms, that type of thing. He also, he had proposed in 2023 the model for United Healthcare Group to divert itself, what it was once, to help more patients or more people in need, to divert, to move the needle, and divert more to benefit the doctors for keeping patients healthy. Probably you can just say, hey, just keep giving them medicine, that type of thing. Don't really figure out the problem, as opposed to treating them after they get sick. There's that. There's that. And then there's also, he was being investigated for insider trading by the Department of Justice this year. Of course, he's deceased now, so there probably won't be an outcome of that anymore. So could this been a company thing? Remember, I'm not going to go into political route, but there are two main political names attached to the insider trading issue. Real high political names. I don't know. It could be anything. It looks like it was a hit. It was a professional. Who knows? I'm not sure. Maybe it was somebody's family member. And that's what you're talking about. That's what you're reading. You're reading that the company has really not been there for the public in all facets of medical healthcare.
Right.
So you're talking from the elderly. You're talking. So I talked about the Medicare, Medicaid, insurance programs. So you're talking about the elderly. You're talking about the disabled, and you're talking about just regular people who have just regular jobs, their coverages are probably not done what they thought it was going to do.
Children as well.
Children, right? Yeah, for the kids, for people, employees, kids, that type of thing. So it's a big, wide spectrum of the insurance coverage entity or world, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of backlash, and that's more what you're reading, is that again, the company made a lot of money last year, and like you said, you said it. Why did they make that money?
I know there's nothing to imply there. It's just fact.
It's what it is. Yeah.
It just is what it is. So there were a few comments from you guys, and I'm really glad that we're having this, kind of conversation with, what we think about this.
See, Rhonda named her the main political person.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go there, but
where was it? So like Tony Stewart says, like a lot of the comments seem to be, and it's not just comments. There's so much, it seems like, support behind this. It's just so different than what we typically see for a crime like this, like he had it coming. James Watson, yes, the comments almost universally on Facebook support what happened. And James, I do agree with that it seems even more supportive than when Trump got shot.
Oh, wow. Really?
I would agree with James's comments.
I'm not
just on Facebook, but on every platform.
I take your word for it.
Rhonda saying, Danny, right? I'm seeing people partying after he got shot. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm not seeing any of that, but wow.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But just a few hours ago, Danny. But just a few hours ago, mid-afternoon, police have said they have a smudged fingerprint of the killer. We'll see how far that goes or gets.
We'll see. I don't know.
Do you think it was a professional hit, or do you think it was somebody's family member?
I think family. I think
the guy could afford a $1,500 outfit.
Yeah, I think family, because I find it hard to believe that, for example, if
that's an expensive backpack, by the way, that he has.
No, I know. But to say to somebody like, hey, my elderly parent or my child is not getting, they're being denied the coverage that they need. Mm-hmm. Can you do you know someone who can do this hit for me? I find that hard to believe someone would be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Or I know someone who'll do it, versus somebody who's like, I'm being denied coverage. My life is, in shambles because of this. I'm going to take matters into my own hands, or my loved one, my spouse, my child, my parent, my family member has been wronged by this company, and I'm going to take matters into my own. I find it, that's where my logic is thinking, that someone took matters into their own hands. But I wonder if it will be solved, honestly. I don't know.
Now, I did see that something in the medical insurance world today was reversed. Now, I did see a couple people laughing at that because they were saying, "Oh, I guess people got the hint." So something was accepted today in the medical insurance world. So I did see a couple people laugh about that, and somebody made a comment about, "Well, I guess people got the hint. Don't mess around, or you might get shot in the." And dude, Danny, like, the killer shot him in the back.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say? Like, if you're gonna take me out on the front. Don't take me out in the back.
I wonder if they just whatever
shot they had at the moment. Maybe, yeah. It was probably just the thing. Oh, I have this angle. This is my best shot. I gotta do it right, man.
Because, like you said, New York City is
It's
very
busy. Oh
busy.
my
It's not
God,
a
dude. Anybody
desolate
could have gotten
area
in the
where that
way.
person
Yeah.
could have had
Somebody, right.
time.
Somebody could
If
have
they
gotten
wanted to kill, they were going
right.
to get that shot and get the hell out of there.
Right. Well, that and somebody could have gotten his line of sight. Like that lady that literally walked out as he's making the second, as he's shooting him in the back. I think actually, this short, you can tell it's a female. Short female is coming out of the building, and she just sees it and just goes like, you can almost see the reaction. She jumped back, and then she just took off running. Man, she just took off running opposite direction. Right.
I mean, who would?
I get, yeah, I know, but I'm
that?
just saying somebody literally saw the one of the shots and reacted and then took off running. So I'm just saying you probably don't have time. Somebody could have been in his line of sight. He had to do what he had to do at the moment. So that was a shot.
Robin, I was just in a conversation about this.
That's what I was talking about. That's yes. Thank you, Robin.
Too.
That's what I was saying. I'm sorry. So people, that was reversed today. That whole thing, right? So they just announced that insurance companies want to lessen the amount. Yes.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Right. So they that I think they flipped that though, or something, to where somebody was like, you see, don't be messing with people like that now, because you'll see what happens to you. Yeah. That's what they wanted to do, but they didn't do it. They switched the decision not to. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. I don't know. This is, I mean, I have my kind of own.
Okay, dog, take a pint of Jack to your next surgery. Just deal with it. Just rub it off.
I have like my own personal thoughts on what happened. And, I'll keep that to myself right now, just because I see a lot of different angles on this. And I think we need, in my mind, I really think it was somebody who feels they or their loved one was wrong in taking matters into their own hands, and not that murder's ever the answer. But
do you think Hillary Clinton has her hands in this at all?
Who?
Just
no, I missed that. Does who?
The Clintons.
Oh my God. I'm curious how much we'll know by next week's True Crime and Chill. I'm wondering I wonder if we'll know anything more, to be perfectly honest. I really don't know.
Well, for the amount of $10,000, if you have information, contact the NYPD.
Here's Beckham, like, my candle collection is worth more than 10 grand.
Dude, the guy's hold on. The guy's outfit is almost worth as much as the think about that.
It noted. Noted. Yeah. And yeah.
And the fact that somebody could literally on the internet could figure out what he was wearing, how much everything costs, and break it down was amazing.
Robin, I'm in the same mindset as you. If not already died, is sick enough to the point where this person is taking matters into their own hands. That's what I'm thinking. But
dude, imagine if this person used this old gun, and it wasn't jamming. That's just the way it shoots, so that it'd be harder to figure the person out, the killer out. Think about that.
Yeah. No, right when they released,
that guy was calm the whole time.
I know. When law enforcement released the photos in the reward amount, I'm like, they have nothing.
You laughed, or you didn't laugh, but you yeah. I was kind of like, 10,000. What is this, Snoopy Doo or Scooby Doo?
I agree with you. It is a low amount compared to what. But then again, we don't know if there's a restriction that law enforcement can offer. I don't know. Yeah, but I did think that too. I thought, wow, they have nothing and they're offering a low amount. I did think that, compared to like what you said, what the company's worth. what he made, not to put a price tag in regards to like, oh, you're only
I'm
worth
not
a
talking about the
$20,000
guy's
award,
character.
but
Right. I'm not talking about the guy's character. I don't know him. He might have been a great father, well, he wasn't, his wife and him are separated for like a few years now.
That doesn't mean that someone's a shit parent.
Right. It could be a good,
We
he's
don't
just,
know.
man, I don't, and I wanted to say this at the beginning, is that even though you're the CEO, how much pressure do you get as from certain people, from certain, degrees of people to push a certain agenda, right? Remember, the needle moved. So just to ensure that he kept his position, to ensure that he kept his quality of life that he was living, for him and his family. So we don't know everything, and it's a lot of times we think it's one person. I know he's the CEO, but really, how much does he really have a say in? It's almost like, isn't it supposed to be the board of directors that make? It's not like one person can't have all the power, type of thing, But I don't like I said, I don't know the dynamics of the end of that whole company, but
right. Depending on the agency, the
right.
board might not have a big say in it.
They might not. Yeah, he
but
might
in
have the
healthcare
ultimate.
like this, I
Right.
don't know.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, but his wife did make it official in the statement that he had received threats lately.
Yeah.
So I don't, that's another thing to go there. Yeah, Capone, that's what I'm saying. Like, was he pushed a certain direction to make sure that that needle moved, and that for their certain agendas to be put forth and pushed? We don't know.
Robin has a question for you. Did they say what caliber of bullet it was?
I don't know.
So
The
they could
casings, well, I don't know. It's being reported the casings belonged to a 9mm, but remember, it had a suppressor or silencer at the tip, or it could have been this old World War II gun. That's how it fires. Nobody's really confirmed that. You just have a bunch of like law enforcement experts, military guys that are like special forces, Delta forces. Those guys are talking, old retired guys that are saying it's not a hit. If it was a professional hit, he would have worn sunglasses. But it was 6 a.m. It was still dark. I don't know. There's just so many little things that people are saying, and you really don't know. It's just somebody was calm enough to plan it out. This is the reality of it. Somebody knew his schedule. Somebody knew he was going to be there. They planned it. They had a getaway bike that was parked or laid somewhere. He had a battery powered a powered battery in this backpack. That's why he had the backpack and probably some other stuff to carry out this assassination. He literally stalked. He was out there for a long time, 2 hours, just standing there in the cold. Got a cup of coffee at Starbucks or a water. He might have got water. He might have purchased a bottled water at Starbucks. They have him on camera. They supposedly have him on camera. I don't know. Those are two different pictures to me. I don't know. To me, that's not the same person. But anyway,
I agree.
Anyway, and then he calmly waits for Brian Thompson to exit his hotel, crosses the street, is going to walk into the other hotel where the meeting is going to be held, and he kills him, and he did it in a calmly manner, and he escaped in a calmly manner. Those are the facts that we know so far.
So, okay, that's just one other point too, okay, so from what we were talking about with y'all in the chat in regards to if this meeting was going to be known to the public, and some of you guys say yes, that these types of meetings are public.
Yeah, but I haven't heard that. I heard the other way. It was a private meeting.
Okay. Regardless, point being, this individual, the shooter, was not outside of where the meeting was going to occur. They were outside his hotel. Who knew he was at that hotel?
Right. Yep. Yeah. He was across the street. He crosses the street with him, walked behind him, and then shot him in the back.
Yeah.
Calmly.
Could they just have thought like, hey, chances are he'll be here and just see?
Maybe.
Or it seems like this person knew he was staying there, which I don't know. Hey, Mermaid. We will keep you guys
James
posted.
Watson is like, did he jay? I think they both jaywalked. James actually, that's a ticket in New York. They probably both jaywalked.
Oh,
I don't
goodness.
know. Maybe.
All right.
James with the comedy.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Beckham, for covering that. I mean, this has been like everybody's focus.
Basically, has this company screwed a lot of? I'm sorry, I'll just say it. Has this? Let me get their name right. United Healthcare Company. Have they screwed a lot of people over? Yes, they have.
Yeah. Earlier in the chat, Haley Meddy, Camp Elasticity Productions, who was on my channel a couple of weeks ago, he said earlier in the chat that this is his insurance company.
Maybe, yeah, that's another possibility there. Yeah, good point. Oh.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to turn into, Danny, give me a percentage here of this turning into a modern day DB Cooper assassination case where we never find out the killer?
I don't think the shooter will be caught or identified.
So you don't think he will? So you think it's going to be a DB Cooper type of?
Well,
that's my question.
I think it's going to be unsolved. I don't think it's going to be solved. The fact that, I really don't. There's nothing distinguishing about the person's outfit to me, like about their stance, about like, for example, they didn't have like a limp or something where it's like, oh, that's my neighbor. I know, like, it's too, in a place like New York.
Well, and they're the pictures are two different. If I was that other person, I'd be like, man, you guys are naming me as a killer. That's not me. Like, those are two different pictures. Those are two different. Hey, babe. Hey, those are two different pictures. You agree, right? We both agree that those. That they're not the same person.
I agree.
Like, wait. Like, no way.
K-Dog thinks they'll have this solved by the weekend.
Okay. They have a smudge of a fingerprint, but I don't know how.
Capone posted a link. It looks like a World War II assassin's pistol. Their bolt action also made in 9mm.
There you go. That's what I was kind of. Yep.
Links through.
Thank you to Capone. There you go. That's probably what it was. So you see, I don't know if his gun was if he used that type of weapon, if the jamming was a jam, or is that's how you shot the gun.
Rhonda says, you both rock, Mr. B and Danny. Thank you for this channel. Rhonda, thank you for being here, for being a part of it.
Yeah, thank you for
this is
joining
what
and
this
being
is.
a part of the show, and just kind of, I mean, sometimes I joke around, but I just try to bring a little bit of comic to the stuff, but it's depressing.
Robin says, I think they're going to find out who it was. It'll just take a little bit of time, and they're not going to tell us all the tidbits they have. That is true, but yeah, to me, the fact that they are looking for help, I don't think they have much to go on.
Well, yeah, they only offered $10,000. No one's going to come up for $10,000.
Yeah. KTS Spirit 1. Hi, welcome. I saw nothing. I do live far away, though. I find it sad, all the jokes I've seen online about a murder, though. Right. This is, what we were just talking about a little earlier, that this is, so many people seem to kind of side with the shooter, like an overwhelming amount, or seem supportive and like this is a hero for what happened. It's interesting. It's very interesting because that typically doesn't happen.
And I was going to say the responsibility that Brian Thompson probably had and the pressure he probably faced and making these decisions, maybe forcefully being made to divert a agenda a certain direction, and knowing that it affects a lot of sick people. He probably didn't sleep a lot at night. But I don't know him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
I feel like to have that type of job, you just oh my God, I can't say it.
You don't have feeling anymore.
Separate.
You separate.
I can never say that word correctly.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, gosh,
Compartmentalized.
but is it? Yeah, so 10.2 million a year salary. He makes more than NFL football coaches. He makes a lot of. He made a lot of money, man.
He makes just a little bit more than you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of money, or I'm sorry, he made a lot of money.
Yeah. Compartmentalized. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the. I know what you meant.
I can never say that word. So
I know what you meant, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you think it's going to become a Cooper? No, they'll never find him.
I think it will be unsolved.
Now I'm going to tell you that from every time there's a case, I'm be like, is this going to be a Cooper case, Danny?
God. Blame Paul. Blame Paul because yeah, hey, have you guys heard of a case DB Cooper? Oh, God.
So
anyways. All right. Let's move on to another infuriating.
I thought we were done. We're not done.
I still have 3 more things to talk about.
I thought we were done.
But they're quick.
Well, I would have kept talking and making more points, but I was like, I thought we were done.
Just quick 3 more points. I know we've
gone
a while and
I'm not. I don't mean to rush you. I stopped talking about it because I thought we were okay. Never mind.
You're fine, Beckham. So somebody mentioned earlier Sarah Boone. So
that's right.
So she received her sentence on Monday. She was sentenced to life in prison. She filed a request for a new trial at the start of November. The request cites alleged prosecutorial misconduct and other complaints about the trial. Judge Michael Kranick denied the request before he sentenced her, citing, quote, the court's review of the record, the court's participation in the trial, in review of all the evidence of the court's prior findings and rulings at trial. So again, she was sentenced to life in prison. With that being said, the infuriating part about Sarah Boone, who we've seen her in court, we've seen her. We know how
mint.
she is.
She requested the potato chips and the mints, right?
The candy,
the mint,
the Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts, that's right.
Pop-Tarts. No, what really is infuriating, and you guys can look this up on YouTube after you finish watching this episode, is her statement to the court. It's infuriating to watch, but the one line that irked me more than any of them was, I forgive myself for falling in love with him. Beckham, what are you thinking about that?
Didn't somebody write a song, a cold-hearted something? That's what
Paula Abdul, you're a cold-hearted snake?
That's exactly that's the song I'm thinking about. Yes, that's what she is.
You would be a Paula Abdul fan. That's
Paula
funny.
Abdul.
No doubt against Paula. She's awesome.
She wrote the song, and it was for her when she wrote it.
It's just like
sing it, Danny. Sing a lyric. Sing it.
God, no, I don't sing. I don't sing. But it's just like, I forgive myself for falling in love with him. Not I forgive myself for murder. I forgive myself for allowing myself for being in a toxic relationships. Something like you forgive yourself for, it's just, again, with Sarah Boone, no accountability at all. And I'm like, why did I expect anything less from Sarah Boone? But nonetheless, it was just infuriating. Check it out for yourself if you really just want to get angry for the rest of your day. It is what it is. Yeah,
James Watson's helping you out with the lyrics.
She's not to blame. She did nothing wrong.
James Watson's helping you out with the lyrics of the song.
Thank you, James Watson. Thank you. It's just
cold-hearted snake.
Yeah, I don't know. Eccles and Lori T. Yeah, I did hear about, yeah.
What's up, Corey?
Yes, Corey. Yeah, so that's the latest, Sarah Boone. You need to do a show on the dark web. You know, that is Beckham's
we don't.
expertise.
No, we don't. You stay away from that place. That's a very dangerous place because you know what's going to happen to you if you go in there and somebody figures out you're in there just messing around and not really there for the right purpose. They're going to find you, and that's what happened to Brian Thompson could happen to you. There's a lot of dangerous people on the dark web. Do not go in there. There's no point. Don't even go there.
I'm joking. We're not going to cover the dark
Oh
web.
no, I'm like no, no. I went there one time for a case, and at that time I didn't know how to. You have to code. You have to. I mean, well, and then you don't necessarily have to code anymore. They've made apps for you can go in. They've actually have made it's easy. It's easier now to go in there, but again, you got to go in there for a purpose. And people that are there for a reason and not just to mess around. It's not a joke. It's not
Beckham on the dark web.
Nope. Stay away from it, man.
And
then you'll be on some government list that they'll start watching you.
I'm already on some government
that you
list.
Went into the dark. No, not everybody goes in the dark web.
No,
you would be specified on the list. Trust me.
I'm already on the government list.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no.
For real. It's fine. I hope they're all subscribed to this channel.
There you go.
So, all right. Let's go past Sarah Boone. I've heard the same thing, Beckham, about the dark web. Tony's agreeing with you. If I go on the dark web, I'd better buy one of those Beckham After Dark. I'm going to give you a star for that. All right. So 2 more quick updates on cases. So Brian Walsh, for those of you who are in the New England, Massachusetts area, he finally has a trial date set. And this is the case that Liz and I are really into, not just because we're from here, but the
Liz is now into this Cooper case. Oh my God.
Liz was not available to be on tonight. I did try to get her on, for the record. So
you gotta refer
K-Dog says
you can't refer to her as just
under
Liz.
Paul's name.
You can't refer to her just as Liz. It's the Liz. Remember,
the Liz. So we message about, and Liz has done so much research on Brian Walsh. Like, I keep saying you need to put out a book. Seriously, the amount of research she has done on this, incredible. Anyway, so a trial date has finally been set. So he is the Cohasset man who is accused of killing and dismembering his wife, Anna Walsh. Anna's body to date has not been found. It will never be found based on what happened. So his charges include murder, misleading a police investigation, obstruction of justice, and improper conveyance of a human body. So his trial date is now set for October 20th, 2025. He's being held without bail. And if you guys are wondering, Brian Walsh, Danny, have you talked about this before? Yes, he's the guy with the iPad searches. Using his 6-year-old son's iPad. Look up the searches. I've read them on here before. It's how long to just, before a body starts to decay. It just goes on and on and on. And then keeps the iPad for the police to find. I mean, come on. Anyway, the thing is, Beckham, wait for it. Brian Walsh's attorneys have asked for email and text messages from the lead investigator on this case. Who was the lead investigator on this case? Trooper Michael Proctor. Just a reminder for everybody, Trooper Proctor was also the lead investigator on the Karen Reed murder case. We all heard those text messages. So Brian's attorneys want to see if Trooper Proctor wrote similar messages about him.
Yeah, you're going to get the case tossed out.
Yeah, because Trooper Proctor, yes, he called Karen Reed obscenities and stuff, but he also gave up, Beckham, let me finish. He also, to his friends and family in text, gave out Karen Reed's name, medical information, like a lot of shit with the with the case that should never have been disclosed. I find it very hard to believe. I'm not saying that Trooper Proctor did message his friends and family about Brian Walsh, but I'm sure that Karen Reed's case wasn't the only one he texted his friends about. Let's just be honest. But I think Brian Walsh's attorneys are smart to kind of realize, hey, we might have a chance here with something. Let's see what
by the time the real Karen Reed case gets finalized and done with, and they win, and everybody has a red what party, then they're going to be like, any case that Proctor touched, we can't go forward with, because we've already wasted too much taxpayer money, too much resource, too much budget on trying to on the Karen Reed case. That's what's going to happen, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
If the Karen Reed case comes out to be in her favor, if it ends up in her favor down the road, that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's just, again, the lead investigator on this Brian Walsh case is now no longer an investigator. Yeah. So if you want to bring in reasonable doubt,
sure,
because of how he improperly handled the Karen Reed trial,
bad. I'm talking bad.
Does that? I said this so long ago. Does this mean that Trooper Proctor handled every other case correctly and Karen Reed not? Which, if that's the case, what does that show? Corruption. Or is he just completely incompetent and this is how he handled all of his cases?
And the upper management, that type of thing, they're going to just say he was incompetent and is no longer an investigator.
Yeah, it's just
to save not only face, but to save the investigations into other cases.
His handprint, or his fingerprint, whatever, Trooper Proctor's on all of these cases now.
Chrissy.
Reasonable doubt. Hey, Chrissy, good to see you. Welcome.
James, what are you looking for in love?
God, James. But anyway, yeah, like with, some coworkers and, Liz, we've been taught, like, it's one of those, is there a chance that Brian Walsh could get off when it's so clear he murdered his wife?
I have a question.
There's a possibility because of who the lead investigator was. It's a possibility, and that is scary.
So I have a question for you. Which is a higher percentage? The killer of the Brian Thompson becoming a DB, what's his name?
DB Cooper?
Yeah, that, or is never found ever, and you're going to deep dive forever because you're talking about conspiracies all over the place, even to the weapon used, or this case where it gets, there's no case because of Proctor. Which one would you give a higher percentage of actually happening? Proctor?
No.
Or this case?
The CEO.
Oh, really? You give it more to the other Brian Thompson's killer?
I don't think his murderer will be found. Why is that funny?
I don't know. I just think because it's going to be like, because all of a sudden you bring up this case from like 50 years ago, and it's funny that you deep dove into it because of Paul. And, there's probably not a chance that they're going to find who the real guy is. So,
all right. I have to address. I thought Selena was going to knock my lighting over. Okay. So you have to address James Watson. If there was updated Black Dahlia case news, it would be on the True Crime and Chill.
I'm actually reading my first book into that. I'm actually reading the first book into the Black Dahlia case.
Really? How come I didn't know this? Way to drop that on air. I like to be in the know.
And it was like a hey, what we were just working on something, and they were like, yeah, we were talking about crazy cases, and he was like, hey, you ever look into the Black Dahlia? I'm like, no, but I've heard of it. It's Hollywood, and I've heard of it, and there's crazy theories. And he's like, yeah, I got the perfect book for you. You can read it here. He gave me his collection book because he's a fan. My buddy's a fan, or not my buddy, he's actually my lead agent. Where he lent me this book. and he's a fan of the writer for it. So I started to read it. So.
Well, let me know how it is, because I am always about getting more books. Hello, Data Ex Machina. Welcome. Corey Novak.
Wait, Tom O'Neill has a book about the. I didn't even know that. It ain't Tom O's book. Did you know that? Is that true?
I don't know, but
Corey Novak, are you like what are you getting at there? Is that a joke?
I'll just, you know what?
I think Corey's probably trying comedy tonight.
Oh, don't harp on Corey. Don't harp on Corey. Corey's a good dude. Solid.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying maybe he's trying. That was a joke. See, he's trolling. Told you. I told you, trolling, dude.
That's
what I told you. So told you.
Corey, no, don't mind Beckham. You know what it is? Beckham has now his own T-shirt, which I thought I would be great at wearing.
Hey, the artist, look, it looks really good on camera. Look, it looks just like the back there.
Here, let me hold on. And then it has the Danny After Dark logo. But anyway, all right, we have one more case.
You have to put yourself on everything. But anyway,
I sure can.
I'm just playing.
I sure can. Remember, Beckham, remember who's in charge here. Remember who's in charge. I can boot you off. You know, I'll just boot you off right now just because. All right, one more case, and then we're going to call it a night.
Oh, my God. Did you see James's joke? That's, okay, again, that's comment of the night in reference to the Black Dahlia. Did you see it?
I saw it. I don't
know anything about it, but I think I know what he was referencing to.
I know.
That was good.
I
James.
don't.
I don't know whether I should laugh. I don't know if I should be like, "Oh my God, I'm appalled," or shocked, or laugh. But it's James Watson. What can you say?
No, I don't bash authors. I know y'all are joking. I don't do that. If there's a author or a book that I just really have read and I'm like, ugh, I don't like it. I just won't talk about it on air. I'm not one for slamming authors. Not my thing. With that being said, last case. And I talked about it last week, but I did not see this coming. Jamie Komorowski. So she was the drunk driver who crashed her car into a golf cart, killing a bride and seriously injuring the groom after they literally just got married and were in the golf cart going back to the hotel. There were also 2 other members from the wedding party on that golf cart that were injured from this as well. So this happened last year. I reported last week that her trial was supposed to start this past Monday. She ended up pleading guilty. I did not expect her to plead, because if we go back, and I know we talked about this last week, so I won't get into it too much. When she first got arrested, there are phone calls, again, because your prison phone calls are recorded, folks. There's phone calls where she's talking to her parents, her family, saying how much of an inconvenience this is for her. Like, she drove trashed out of her mind, killed a bride, injured a groom, injured 2 other people, but this is an inconvenience to her. So I'm like, oh man, this is going to be crazy. She pled guilty. She pled guilty to 3 counts of felony DUI and 1 count of reckless homicide resulting in a death. And that death was 34-year-old bride Samantha Miller. So the judge sentenced Jamie to 10 years for the charge of reckless homicide, 15 years for 2 charges of felony DUI with great bodily injury. So 25 years for the charge of felony DUI with death. The judge did give her credit for time served, and he gave her credit for being on house arrest. I disagree that should have happened, but that's just my personal thought. So her sentence is to run concurrently. So what kind of I didn't like here was Jamie's attorney said, obviously, as you can imagine, she is disappointed in the verdict, as in Jamie. but she accomplished the one goal that she wanted to accomplish throughout this entire process. She got to do what she wanted to do today, which was accept responsibility, fall on her sword, because obviously that is part of the healing, not just for the families of the victims, but for her also, end quote. Jamie said, quote, I want the last thing that I say to be that from the very bottom of my heart, with every fiber of my being, how sorry I am, and that I take full responsibility for my actions, end quote. The groom, who has been recovering from a brain injury and broken bones from that crash, he's had numerous surgeries and obviously PTSD. And he spoke to the court. You guys can find it online on YouTube. It is so emotional. He says, quote, I think about that night every single day and the last moments that I had with Sam on the golf cart. She told me she didn't want the night to end, and I kissed her on the forehead. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital. I wish I had died that night so she didn't have to go alone. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is a sad story all across the board. Like I'm not gonna. There's no jokes here. Like, it's unfortunate that this happened. I'm not gonna pass judgment either. We've all done stupid things in our lives, and sometimes you don't suffer something. You get lucky. Unfortunately for Jamie, with the choice she made, cost deaths. So, and she's gonna pay for it. So lots of people touched by her error, and lives changed forever by her error, and including her own. So this is a really sad story, man, and it's just unfortunate, and a lot of people's lives touched by it. So it's unfortunate. There's nothing you could say or do to change anything. It happened. She did, she made the choice, and it's unfortunate, and it's sad.
Yeah. So William Eddy's saying her sentence wasn't really that lenient.
Yeah, some people are saying her sentence was really harsh, but I mean, that's
harsh. I don't think it was harsh enough.
Well, I know that's how you feel, but I've read some
I'm
people are like, that's a lot of years but I get it. If you knew the other party and you closely, you probably would. So I'm telling you, there's a spectrum. Some people want death penalties, and then there's other people that feel that prison's really shouldn't be a thing, because there's just a lot that goes on with those ideas of people and things like that. So, but
this could have been prevented.
well, yeah, you're right.
Jamie made the choices that she did.
Right, she did.
And
it's a sad outcome for everybody involved.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And there's nothing you can't change anything. You can, whatever. But and she will suffer for however many years she's gonna have to serve.
I will say that regardless of the amount of, whether Jamie's in prison for, 25 years, 50 years, 75 years, there's no bringing Samantha Miller back. There's no reversing the physical and mental damages now that the groom has to go through for the rest of his life. Like everybody, there was, when I say that there's so many victims in this, every family member of Samantha, every friend, they were right there at the wedding. So like all their loved ones were right there. Like there's so many victims in this, not just Samantha.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people that trust, that are touched by this error across the board in the spectrum of both families and friends.
Last year, Corey.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, man. I don't, like I said, I feel bad because she made a bad decision and it affected so many people.
Yeah. So that's that, folks. A lot of stuff happened this week. And
I wish you could do a poll. You know how to do one?
I don't know how to do one. I know I have access to. I don't know.
The poll that I would want to end the show with would be what percentage of people, or you can type it in the chat. Was it, was the Was the Brian Thompson assassination, was it a professional hit or was it personal?
How about this?
Or something like that, or something around those,
wants
those
to
lines.
type it in the chat. 1 for if you think
Yeah,
it
there
was
you
a
go.
professional hit, or the number 2 if you think it was something personal.
Like personal, like
my theory, where
that
it's
person, right?
someone
It
wronged him
affected
or
that
his loved
person
one.
intimately, right? Intimately, like
So 1 or
a
2.
family
1
member.
professional hit, 2 personal hit.
Because remember, he was also getting looked into by the Department of Justice for insider trading. So that's where I'm talking about.
We got a 1, we got a 2,
Wait,
another
what was
2.
the options? I'm sorry. What did you say 1 was?
1 is professional.
Okay, thank
2
you.
is personal. Data saying 1.5. I see evidence of both. That's fair.
Ooh, okay.
So we got a 1. You guys seem, there's mostly 2s, but still several 1s.
Good point, William. He edged things in the casings. Good point. Makes it
Which
a little.
to me is a personal
Yep.
thing.
Right.
Like sending a message, which
Yep.
granted, somebody could say a
Yep.
hit could have done the same thing. What's Shelly saying? My boyfriend is full of something and sometimes knowledge. I'll go with the mostly something as opposed to knowledge.
Comedy relief. Thank you. You're so nice tonight.
Yeah, I'm regretting wearing this. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, good. Oh, Jesus, Shelly, get that cat. All right. So
So there was more
mostly
2s than
2s, but
1s.
there's still a decent amount of 1s too.
Wow, that's interesting. So it's kind of a common. It could almost be even. It could be like a not a split, but like a 40. What's the 60-40?
We will see if there's any update to this next week. We'll see. I don't know. I'm thinking there won't be. But if I'm wrong,
DB
I'm
Moore.
wrong.
What's his name? DB Moore. What's his name?
DB Cooper.
DB Cooper. Sorry.
I'm never going to hear the end of this.
It's going to be a DB Cooper case for Danny.
I'll get a message from Beckham. What's that guy that like 3 weeks from now? And I'll be like, DB Cooper.
Oh, hey, speaking of true crime and everything, are you, because I know you had me go to the high school and the house he lived at in El Paso, Texas. Remember 2021? Ramirez?
What are you talking about?
Richard Ramirez.
Okay, what about?
Remember you had me go to his high school in El Paso? Yeah, in 2021. His doc the doc series is gonna come out. It comes out Monday on Peacock.
Okay. All right.
I thought he was one of those. I thought it was one of those cases that was one of your favorites.
I find his case interesting from many perspectives. One of them being how society reacted to his crime, not so much on like a Ted Bundy level, but all the women that came forward with Richard Ramirez being so into him and all this. And I'm thinking, when he was out in the street, no one I find that part very fascinating. But Richard Ramirez is one of those
Thank you, Shelly.
To say like staples of true crime, but a staple of true crime.
So, and it actually in hold on, Danny. In this documentary, it's gonna have one of your own that you've interviewed live on your channel.
Oh right, yeah, Nicholas Schreck.
Nicholas Schreck is gonna be on the documentary, so that it comes out or preview whatever Monday on the Peacock app or whatever. Yeah. I was gonna say the Peacock channel, but it's not a channel, it's an app.
So for those who are wondering what Beckham just mentioned, so a year and a half ago, maybe? Yeah, it's been a long time. Author Nicholas Schreck came on my channel because he had a correspondence, a friendship with Richard Ramirez.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the interview was, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't. The interview was not Manson.
No,
I thought it was
Richard Ramirez.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I suggest everybody watch that episode.
Wow.
That's one of
Dude, you should have people listen, rewatch your interview with Nicholas Schreck, and then right in time for the
did
documentary to be
excellent interview for
wow.
I mean, he gave so much information that it was a really great interview. I'm very thankful to Nick for coming on.
Yeah, you should repost the interview over the weekend so people can get caught up just in time for the show Monday night or Monday.
All right.
See, I'm always plugging you.
Thank you. I mean, that's your way of supporting. You could also subscribe to this channel. That would be helpful. But I mean, I might be asking too much. I don't know.
I just come on here.
I know.
For my own comic relief.
All right, everybody. It is a work night. I understand that. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around for another episode of Danny After Dark, True Crime and Chill. James Watts.
Stupid.
Shelly, will you please kick your boyfriend's ass? This channel does promote that type of violence if it's towards Beckham. Other than that,
she likes to see me in pain. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, Beckham, for your research on the CEO murder out of New York, and we will keep you guys updated on that next week. So everybody enjoy your weekend. Happy December. And remember, until next time, what are you looking at, Beckham?
What?
I'm trying to do my outro and you're like,
oh,
I have the
Thursday night game on the TV.
Oh, Jesus.
I was looking for the
All right, everybody. We don't live in darkness.
Wait. No, let me do it this way. Wait, don't end it yet.
Okay.
Here, read the cup. I don't know if you can read it.
We don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. All right, you get points for the cup. All right. Good night, everyone. See you next week.